Hey guys, Rick and Duke. Welcome to another episode of War HOGG Words of Wisdom, coming to you live from the corner of One Hacker Way in Central Prison. That's right. More to follow on that one. So this title, guys, or this Words of Wisdom, what's wrong with Instagram? Whew, wait till we start peeling the layers back on this thing. It's going to blow your mind. And man, you're going to have to sit there and go, hey, do I still want to be a part of this thing? And it's a necessary evil, unfortunately, but man, I got some contemplating I got to do with the whole meta, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. But first, some quick housekeeping. Guys, swing by warhog.com. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter. If you're new to the show, our Instagram page, War HOGG Tactical, was deactivated by IG. Another scam they're running. I'll get into more details on that one. They're just packed with evil, man. The Zuckerberg and his crew, he is the devil himself, in my opinion, right? And I'm going to explain why here in a little bit. So again, swing by warhog.com. Don't forget kelleydefense.com. Sign up for those newsletters. I'm sending about one a week, man, right? I'm not really focusing on social, don't really care about it. And we'll kind of fold all that in with this episode of War HOGG Words of Wisdom. Since you're out floating around the interwebs, hey, do us a huge favor, subscribe to the show, leave us a rating review. That's how we get things forward. Since you're out there, you can leave us a Google review for War HOGG Tactical. Don't forget, leave a review on Amazon for the book. All that stuff, guys, I'm telling you, you will not believe how much big tech has control. And trust me, your support is what's going to help us kind of get through all this stuff. Last thing, 14-day free trial to our Patreon page. So the OTR Patreon crew, 14-day free trial. Check it out beforehand. 24th, we've got our next interactive Zoom call. So you guys can, hey, man, see what that thing's all about. So kind of roll from our housekeeping and jump right into it. What is wrong with Instagram? So this week, and I'm going to read you this verbatim because I think it's important. A couple things going on, right? So 4th of July weekend, we had the launch of Sound of Freedom, which is basically a movie to let people know that, hey, every year, 2 million kids are trafficked. 2 million. Wrap your heads around that. 2 million kids, right? I can't quite figure out what's up with society and wanting to do all these crazy things to children, but I'm going to tell you this, man. Right now, the state of Florida is setting the example. So the Attorney General sent out a letter to old Mr. Zuckerberg July 10th. Dear Mr. Zuckerberg, I serve as the chair of Florida's statewide Council on Human Trafficking. The Florida legislation recently required the council to frequently look at the kind of social media platforms. And again, I'm just kind of facilitating some things here just to get by quick. To look at social media platforms that are used to assist, facilitate, or support human trafficking within Florida. Boom. All right. So this is one of 50. Let me set some precedents for you real quick before I start going down the roads here so you kind of know numbers. State of Florida has approximately 22.25 million people. Our U.S. population is about 336. All right. So state of Florida specifically looking at human trafficking via social platforms. So again, going from documented instances from 2019, where social media has been used to facilitate human trafficking, including recruitment, trafficking operations, or control over the victim, we asked those agencies to identify which platforms were used. Boom. The results were extraordinary. These are their words, not mine. According to the survey, 146 of the 271 reported incidents of social media platforms used in human trafficking were attributed to Meta. That's right, Zuckerberg. Your freaking company supports human trafficking. How about them apples? So you want to sit there and shut my company down, right? That tries to make people 1% better, but you're out there supporting human traffickers. How about them apples, huh? Let that sink in, people. So for those of you out there playing for that blue check mark, you know what you're doing? You're helping him support the pedos. How about them apples, right? Because the blue check mark used to be free. God forbid you'd ever get one, right? God knows how many times we tried prior to. But Zuck just stole a playbook from Musk when he said, hey, you're going to have to pay for your check mark on Twitter. Now everyone's paying him. piss on you, Zuck. I ain't giving you nothing. That's just me, right? Because your platform is being used. 146 of the 271 instances went back to Meta, which includes, just so you guys are tracking, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Facebook Messenger. So all these things that he runs, his company, he facilitates human trafficking. What do you think I would do if it was my company, man? You think War HOGG Tactical is trafficking people? Hell no. We're fighting for people, right? We want to make you better. So you're not getting there falling in these loops. That's more than 53% of the reported instances involved. To put that number into perspective, after Meta platforms, the next highest social media platform in human trafficking was Snapchat, okay, which was utilized 19 times, 7 times less than Meta platforms. Stand by. Let me go to page 2. So what they're asking, according to 2022 federal human trafficking reports, Facebook was the top platform used in recruitment of human trafficking victims from 2019 to 2022. Facebook and Instagram combined made up 60% of the top 10 platforms included in the study. According to major social media site self-report, increases in the suspect of child sexual abuse materials, including child sex trafficking incidences, according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children 2022. Cyber tip line reports by electronic measures provided that more than 27 million, or 85% of the incidents reported, were from Meta platforms. Let that one sink in. 27 million, right? 85% of that is coming from Meta. Way to go, Zuck. So the numbers I kind of gave you before, that was just from Florida, right? So from the Center of Missing and Exploited Children, you know, they said out of the 27 million, 85% is coming from Meta. All right. So basically the chair of council, and as Florida Attorney General, I invite you to appear to the council to discuss these issues, right? So Zuck has an appointment with the Florida AG October 2nd. Ought to be interesting. Let that sink in for a second, guys, right? Why is it that this guy who got in front of Congress didn't know what his platform's doing, right? He's an obvious liar. What CEO doesn't know what's going on with their platform? He does everything deliberately, right? And then you got to think, Meta, it's already proven, right? Because they're listening to the U.S. government, what to put out, what to suppress, what not to do. They're just a propaganda arm for the federal government. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the Biden administration. Them cats have lost 85,000 children. 85,000 illegal children. They don't know where they're at, unaccounted for. I mean, let that soak in, people. And I hate to say the word federal government, right? Because we are the federal government. It's we the people. But you got to put blame specifically on the administration. Biden has lost 85,000 children. What do you mean, Rick, they're lost? Yeah, they just let them go. Okay. More than likely they're being trafficked. It's probably the biggest shadow children trafficking organization going, right? The administration. On top of anything else, we know corrupt. We know making money from China. All these decisions that he's making for the good of the country, horrible. Absolutely horrible. You look at his past track record, right? Things that he disagrees on, now he agrees on. It's like, come on, dude. You didn't get any smart as far as this whole marriage thing, all this other crap that you spouted in the back. Hey, if you get caught with crack cocaine, you're going to jail for 5 years. Those are his words, not mine, right? Oh, but Hunter, you got to buy. Oh, Hunter, you can sit there and forge a federal document. Oh, no, it's okay. No. So here's the thing, guys, right? What I'm hoping is when the Attorney General, and here's the thing, I'm going to call the Florida Attorney General. I'm going to let them know of Zuck's sidebar digital extortion that he's doing, right? So that little company out there, KGH Media out of New York, yeah, they're sitting there reporting to Instagram that you're violating their intellectual property that somebody sold their video. And if you look at their terms of service there, yeah, they basically sit there and go, hey, we're going to bust people or have them pay this money for using this video. We're only going to give you 20%, I think was their cut, if I remember right. But he's facilitating that, right? Why'd War HOGG Tactical get shut down? We got basically extorted from freaking Instagram. And then when you go reach out to him, what do you get? A generic email. So it was funny. The last correspondent AI response I got from Connor over there at Instagram, let her know straight up, hey, dude, so you're good with me turning this over to the Florida Attorney General and, the DOJ Cyber Crimes Division? Because I asked him, hey, man, look into it, right? Did they respond to what I was telling them? Nope. Did they say, hey, we'll take a peek? Yep. Nope. Nothing. Just like Zuck, got busted by the Wall Street Journal, how their platform supports pedos. You can find pedo hashtags on there. Try doing this, listeners and viewers. Go type in Save the Children. Won't come up. You won't see it. You won't find it. I wonder why. Let that sink in. Here's this guy that's a billionaire that's basically made his money off of you because he just mines all your data, then sells it. Doesn't care about kids. Wow. Shocking. What could he do with that $1 billion for good? What could he do to clean up that platform, right? So his AI is so sharp that, man, I sat there and posted one of my hats next to a couple blocks of C4 and bam, you're selling explosives. Damn, dummy. It's so smart, it's stupid, right? Couldn't you be using that AI for good? Couldn't you be using that AI to battle crimes against children? But you don't care. Because rumor on the street is he's a pedo himself, right? And I'm just, hey, man, I'm entitled to mine. I'm entitled to, hey, what I've seen, what I've heard other people say. What? Because the First Amendment gave me that right. And here's the bottom line. Like, I'm tired. I'm tired of trying to change me for his platform. I ain't doing it, right? I'm going to say the word firearm. I'm going to say the word firearm, right? I'm not going to sit there, we play this whole, let's go a couple weeks. We'll do these running videos. We'll talk about this. We'll use things like the Second Amendment. We won't say the firearms because he tells you straight up. Firearms, hashtags firearms, this, that. One of my products is the firearms training notebook. That's what I do, bud. That's my line of work. I'm in the firearms industry. And now you want to suppress that? What gives you the right to think that you're God Almighty with your big tech company selling our data to your $1 billion, and then you can suppress what we say? I tell you this. I hope old Elon and Zuck get in the cage. And I hope Elon just beats the living snot out of him, right? Because I'm telling you, this dude is evil. Why else would you want to do things to children? Why else would you allow your platform to be the #1 tool for human traffickers? There's one reason. Because you are evil. Now let's think about it. Why hasn't the federal government gone after him? Because right here in my Constitution of the United States, the 13th Amendment abolished slavery in this country. I don't care whether you're indentured service, sex slave, everyone. 13th Amendment abolished that. Why do we still have it? Because we don't care. Because my gut tells me these elites, I think they do it for kicks, right? Let that sink in for me. I'm going to go something horrible to a child. Why? Because I'm untouchable. Because I've got all this money. Because I've got all this power. Hey, Johnny Tough Guy, here's the deal. Come on down. Let's have a conversation, right? Let's be a guest on the Range podcast. Let's chat. Let's find out what's so broke with your leadership or why you don't care for children. Come on down, Zuck, right? And you don't have to even come out here. We'll just do a simple Zoom call, right? We'll have a little conversation back and forth. And tell me why your platform supports pedos. Your platform supports mutilation of children. Your platform is a tool for the U.S. government to pump their propaganda. Yet you want to suppress my rights, my freedom of speech, my ability to keep and bear arms, that I'm guaranteed in the Constitution. And I just say all that, guys, because I'm trying to drive a point home. Personally, when they shut the account down, I was like, man, that was the worst return on investment ever, right? Because you put a lot of time into social because we're using it as a marketing tool. That's what Zuck is, right? So he's a twofold advertiser. Not really. He just, if you want to boost your post because he's throttling stuff back, right? So he's got power from the get-go. So, man, I'm getting the reach. Give me $5, give me $25, increase your reach. You guys seen it, right? So if you're running a business page, we've all seen it. So that right there tells me you're throttling it. You're controlling it where people aren't going to see it. How is it sometimes we get the IG logo? I have no freaking idea, right? I got no earthly idea. But these guys are so savvy, right? They know exactly what device you're using. They know exactly all your IPs. You're not going to go out there and trick them. They've got everything tied. Why are the glucose page sitting there dumping followers like a sinking ship? Right? He's below. He ain't gaining nothing because he's tied to me. Right? We use the same phone, same device. They know that. So, Zach, you're not going to support my efforts of keeping my combat veteran, that served more for this country than you ever have, ever will in your life. You want to suppress that? Good job, buddy. Great. Oh, perfect. You want to pump the propaganda of, hey, take the poison. Hey, mutilate kids. Oh, yeah. Keep it up, buddy. You want to have your platform as the #1 platform for pedos? Oh, yeah. You got some world accomplishments under your belt there, buddy. But think about it. This is where we've got that ethical dilemma, right? Because I got to use these platforms. I got to try to get my word out there. And this is where I had the shift. I am no longer going to sit there and beat around the bush and try to sit there and go, oh, how can I make it work? Oh, I'm not going to really show that. Dude, I'm going to put it out there, right? It's like, if you don't want it, I don't. Because we got backdoor ways to kind of push our stuff. Because what I'm halfway thinking is in the newsletter, we just might go, hey, here's the week recap on what we put out there. And just see what goes on. Because we got a pretty robust email list. It's got a hell of a lot more faith in than your shoddy platform. It's out there just a network for pedos. And if you think I'm joking, and in person, I didn't do this, right? So I did not go. The Wall Street Journal, when they broke the article back in June, I think June 7th, if I remember right, when they broke the article about Meta supporting pedos, they had the hashtags in there. I could not draw myself to even take a look at what the hashtags entailed. Didn't want to, right? Sorry, there's some things I won't. And when I did the post, because you can see the post on warhog_com, I wouldn't post it. Wouldn't post what they were. Now, had I put them hashtags in there, I probably would have blown up, right? Zuck probably would have said, whoa, best of buddies right here. A fellow pedo. Let's push him to the top. But then Meta comes out like the next day after that article came out. Oh, we're going to look into this thing. Intro. Save the Children still doesn't work. You ain't looking into nothing. The only thing you're looking at is getting your pocketbook fat by sitting there sucking up them blue check marks that people are going to pay to be verified. Piss on you, buddy. I support anything, right? Will this get back to him? I don't know. Do you want to have a conversation? Probably not, right? Because he doesn't really care. My opinion, which, oh, by the way, I'm entitled to via the Constitution of the United States. Pretty much say whatever I want, right? Now, what do we do? How do we fix it? How do we battle it? How do we make a change, right? So it's one thing for Rick to get up here and just be bitching along. Blah, blah, blah. Am I aggravated? Am I irritated? 100% I am, right? Because personally for me, I can't wrap my head around why you would want to do something to a child. And to me, a child is, you're still a child, unfortunately, until the state tells you, hey, when you turn 18, now you become an adult, right? Okay, great. My kids are still my kids. Are they over 18? Of course they are. They'll always be my kids, right? But still, that's kind of the age we draw the line at. What the only thing I can say is you are mentally ill if you sit there and look at a child and go, "Ooh, look at there, a young child. I must be attracted to it," right? So when we sit there and go, we got a health crisis in this country. Yeah, we got one, right? So we got gender dysphoria. That's a mental health crisis. You got these pedos, they got a mental health crisis, but we don't want to address it. We don't want to address the mental health problems we have in this country. And I kind of diverted there a little bit, but how do we make a change, right? So here's the thing, guys. Make the change super easy. Follow those sites that you support. In turn, what's it cost you? Except a little bit of time, minimal. All right. Stick that on your story. Tag that page. Boom. Now they know. That's what we try to do. Try to push other people's stuff on with us. So when Brady and Marcus were doing the whole men's mental health thing in June, which nobody knew about, right? Because that was totally overlooked. Pride overtook that versus men's mental health. Interesting. Hey man, their stuff, right? Why not? To just support. That's what you do for your friends. You help support, especially because that's why I say, guys, that's why you subscribing to the show. That's why you leaving us a rating review, whether it's on the Range Cast, War HOGG Tactical, whether it's a Google one, whether going to Amazon, leaving a review for the book, right? It's so critical because all their backside AI, all they do is go, oh, how many 5 stars they got? Oh, they got a review, right? Like we had a dude who made the comment, I don't care if you give us a thumbs up emoji. My man gave us 3 eggplants. I don't care, right? Give us something. It at least shows interaction because that's what we need. And, with me and Mark, we had the conversation. I don't ever tip, right? We're just being cautious when we initially started this thing. Hey, way to promote the business. Don't want to dive too deep into politics. Don't want to sit there and do whatever. I'm done. I'm done. I'm tired of sitting there going, well, let's caution, right? Nope. We're going to start opening the floodgates. Why? Because the Constitution of the United States gives me that right. And to be honest with you, if you like what you're hearing, share with friends and family. Because I'm not going to self-suppress, right? I served the military 29 years, majority of that time in special operations, the oppressor liberator to free the oppressed, right? I am the oppressed in my own country. Whew, let that sink in. No way, not anymore. So we are just going to start doing just content, man. I'm going to give you my opinion on stuff. We're going to try to educate you, the listener viewer, on what's going on out there because it's key. And if you think my numbers are skewed, go check it out, right? You can find that document. It's out there. You can go to my page. You can see it. It's from the Florida Attorney General's office. The more you dig into this, right? If you guys haven't seen Sound of Freedom, go check it out. But then, of course, Sound of Freedom, right? The media is going, that's rubbish, right? I don't get how the media used to almost be an unspoken checks and balance in this country, right? Used to have investigative reporting. How come no one's investigating this child sex trafficking? Let that one sink in. When was the last time DOJ had a big, major bust in this country? Hey, them 85,000 kids the Biden administration lost, where are they? How come we haven't found them? Are we even looking for them? Heck no, because somebody's making money off it, right? But we got to get smart, and that's what we're going to start doing. Going to start doing a little bit digger deepin'. Do some more investigating. Multi-source, of course, right? And just try to present the facts to you. And I'm going to tell you this, right? I've been very boisterous about this whole gender dysphoria. And that's the word I'm going to use, right? That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it gender dysphoria. Gender affirming care is just changing words, right? We ain't going to refer to that. We're not going to talk about chemical castrating as gender blockers, right? That's what they're doing, chemically castrating these kids. No, we're going to talk about gender dysphoria, which is a mental health issue. And then, oh, by the way, the parents and doctors out there, medical facilities that support it. And I can't remember, CDC just came out with something. Probably should have wrote that one down, right? CDC's running their suck about this stuff too. I'm like, what is wrong with you people, right? Why are we as a country turned against our children, eating our own, basically? Because, oh, by the way, all these, the stats, when you look at these kids that transition, 40%, let that number soak in. 40% of them kill themselves, committing suicide, right? Because they're so jacked up versus giving them the mental health care they need. And then you've got an adult population out there preying on kids. What the hell is wrong with you? From the top to the bottom, right? So from the one committing the heinous sex act all the way to who's scooping them up, right? What the hell is wrong with you? Where's your morals and values there, jackhole? To the ones transporting them back and forth, keeping them in these houses. Where's your morals, man? What is wrong with you people? Get some God in your life, because here's the bottom line. You're going to have to answer for what you do on this planet. And I'm going to tell you this, it's not going to be a good day for you. It's going to be kind of like Christmas Story. Sit there and think we'll just swap Santa for Jesus, man. You're going to get that big old boot to the face and you're going to go sliding down that slide going to hell. Get right with yourself, people. If you've done wrong, if you're in that loop, man, get out to law enforcement. Tell them what the hell you know. Let's get these kids back, man. Tim Ballard and his mission, man, absolutely phenomenal, right? That movie, Sound of Freedom, will change you. If it doesn't inspire you to get fired up to make a change, that's the only way we're going to do something, right? We've got to make a change. I think change one is to put Zuck in some freaking silver bracelets and put him away for life, right? The number one platform. He's got that much power to traffic children. Or I won't say he's personally trafficking, but he's assisting in the trafficking, right? And you're telling me with all your high-speed whiz-bang gadget switches in the back, you can't catch it? But boy, I post a picture of a gun. Bam, you're on it. I put some explosives. Oh, you're selling that stuff. You freaking moron. Let that one sink in, people. Let that be your words of wisdom. Why is Instagram, Meta, Facebook, why are they facilitating this child trafficking? I think there's only one reason. They got to be in cahoots somewhere, right? So I'm going to leave that one up to you. Kind of figure that one out. Chew on that for a bit. But as with all of our shows, I've gone super long, and that's okay because this is super passionate. You're going to hear more of them. You're going to hear more War Hog words of wisdom. Why? Because we're going to do something to make a change. We're going to do something to help bring these kids back. Let's think about it, man. What a horrible life. Be kidnapped and be a freaking child sex slave. How do you recover from that? Man, that's hard. That's hard. So I'm going to ask you guys, get involved somehow, right? Do something. Let's make a change. What I would say for those of you guys, right? And I'm going to tell you straight up, the North Carolina AG is going to get a phone call. Say, hey, man, you looking into this? Because if we can all rally together, because we know the federal government's not going to do nothing, right? Biden administration, they got their DOJ weaponized, right? DOJ is going to turn a blind eye to anything. Hell, Uncle Joe's probably got his fingers in the pot. We know he's compromised, right? That's a given. So DOJ is not really going to do anything. But what about these state attorney generals? So I would tell you, pick up the phone, make a little effort, find your attorney general, give him a call. Say, hey, man, I heard about the Florida case. Old Meta, might have to tell him Facebook, Instagram, right? Lay it out for him a little bit. Is out there, number one platform for human trafficking. What are we doing about it, right? Because let's think about it. They're elected officials. That's how we make change. Think about this. How could we fix our country's debt? You tell all them suckers up there in Washington, hey, man, debt gets above this point, you're all fired. No reelection for you. What do you think they would do? Huh. They'd trim the fat because they're all lining their pockets, right? A job that makes you $179,000 a year and you're a multimillionaire? Must be some great investing going on there. But again, I digress. But going back to your AGs, you've got to sit there. That's the only way we're going to change, right? So if everyone listens to the sound of my voice, and I don't care what country you're in, hey, if you're in the U.S., I got it. If you're somewhere else around the country, figure out your protocols and start leaning on these people. Start going, what are you doing to make a difference? That's a change, right? That's something we can do right now. What's it cost you? It costs you a little bit of time. I got it. It's your most precious commodity. I get it. But trust me, I think these kids are worth it. I think our next generation is definitely worth it because we're going down a road that does not look very good. Let's save the children. Go out there and support Tim's mission. Go watch Sound of Freedom. Go tell the mainstream media and all them savage pedos up there in Hollywood that you don't want that crap anymore. You're tired of it. Support Sound of Freedom, right? Let's get the word out there on that. Support Tim and his mission, what he's doing, and then just go out and pressure your AGs. And I got it, man. If you live in California, California's already shown their cards, right? They're doing Zippo. They want to pass legislation to sit there and make pedophilia a life crime. Oh, they turned it down. What's that telling you? Man, if you're sitting there going, man, I don't want to protect kids, probably because they got their fingers in the pot. Just saying. Let that one sink in. What other reason could you want to not do that? Let me give you a little fact. United States, up until 1933, used to castrate sex offenders. How about them apples, huh? Not that long ago. Am I saying we bring it back? I don't know. Does it fix it? I don't know. Haven't done enough research on it. But we used to. Got to do something, man. We got to protect our children from these predators. And I'm telling you this, Zuck's a predator. He's predator number one, in my opinion. Why? Because his platform's got the biggest reach. He's got the biggest network. Super easy. Post these pedo things and bam, it's out there going. You post something War HOGG Tactical, you're deactivated. Let them apples sink in. Right? Supporting criminals, not supporting veterans. Duke's page, losing followers left and right, right? Can't get no traction. Can't help keep his memory alive. Private officer survival, nothing. Right? On the Range podcast, all these things we're trying to do. Zippo. And it's across the board. Dutch was saying the same thing. Dutch has been at the same number, what's he at, 15,000, whatever it is. Same number for months. No growth. Does not make sense. It does if it's backdoor manipulated. And they know exactly who we are, right? They're not that stupid. Oh, you got American flag in there? Guilty. Now I go shake my boobs and butt. Boom, I'd have followers all day long. But what are they advertising? Their OnlyFans page? Probably making a killing. Probably doing better than me. But again, it goes back, guys, to protecting our children. That's your War HOGG words of wisdom. Instagram. What is wrong with you? Or I should say, what's wrong with Instagram? Why don't you want to support kids? On that note, guys, I want you to keep your heads up. Make the effort. Let's protect these kids. Let's make ourselves 1% better. Make sure you're out there training physically, mentally, spiritually, practicing with your firearms, both live and dry fire. Look for those acts of kindness. And what are you grateful for? I'm grateful to live in the greatest country in the world, without a doubt. We got some work to do, by far. All right, guys. In closing, God bless you. God bless your families. God bless our troops. And God bless the United States of America. Let's save our kids. Rick and Duco out.